tuned as we uncover the fascinating story of a young entrepreneur who is defying conventions and achieving greatness. Hi, Sentina.
Hi, good morning.
How do you manage to balance time between medical school and running a business?
I'm very intentional about time management.
Where do you see XAIA the Brand in the next few years?
Just watch out for XAIA.
What advice would you give to other students looking to start a business while still in school?
I don't think there's anything that you can't do while you are in school. Like that's in quotes though. Start small, but do not stay small.
What advice would you give to someone who feels stuck after a failure or setback?
If it worked before, it would work again.
How can entrepreneurs prepare themselves to handle setback better?
I wish I had an exact formula for this. What has worked for me is learning. Learning from others' experiences, learning about finance.
Campus Hustlers with Fatima Zakaria.
Imagine being a medical student with an already overwhelming workload and still running a thriving business. Sounds impossible, right? But for today's guest, this is reality. Stay tuned as we uncover the fascinating story of a young entrepreneur who is defying conventions and achieving greatness. Hi, welcome to yet another interesting episode of Campus Hustlers, your weekly dose of entrepreneurial spirit unfiltered. I'm your host, Fatima Zakaria. I'm an entrepreneur, a corporate event anchor, a voiceover talent, and of course, I am a podcaster. Joining me on today's podcast is Sentina Dadam, a 300-level medical student at the University of Jos, Plateau State, Nigeria. Sentina is a young entrepreneur with an incredible story of resilience and innovation. She is the brain behind XAIA the Brand, a business dedicated to stylish and functional tote bags. With a remarkable 4-year journey in business, Sentina has explored various ventures from selling potato chips and liquid soap to beauty products and even a brief stint in real estate. But today, she's passionate about spreading creativity and sustainability through her stunning tote bags at XAIA the Brand, launched just a few months ago. Hi, Sentina. Good morning. It's good to have you on the podcast.
Hi, good morning, Ma. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for coming on my podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a great privilege. Can't even overemphasize that.
I'm glad to hear that. All right, so let's start this way, Sentina. What inspired you to start XAIA the Brand, and what's the story behind the name?
Okay, so I'm literally smiling right now as I'm about to say this. The truth is, I've always been big about business. Like, I tell people that running a business is more than a means of livelihood for me. It's like a hobby. Like, it's something that I enjoy. I literally get chills when I sell stuff, when I do business. So I'm sure it's not surprising that I started XAIA the Brand. But then, I've done a lot of things actually. I've ventured into so many stuff, but for launching this brand, I'd say it was totally divinely inspired. And then I recall how the idea came, how the capital came, the name, everything just fell in place, and I can't take credit for any of it, Sha. But in simple terms, I prayed to God for direction. At some point, I was really stuck and I'd done a lot of things. It was more of like back and forth, going here and there, and then here we are now, basically. And then about the name, XAIA is sort of a synonym of my English name, Sentina. I didn't want to use my name, like I didn't want to use something direct, but I didn't want to also use something that was not relatable at all. So it resonates with what I had in mind, and I love the sound of it. I love that it's slightly complex, and I've heard people be like, oh, pronounce it, and I like that, and I like what it represents and how much I am able to own it, because like I said, it's a synonym of my name. So for me, XAIA is more than just my brand's name. It's my identity.
Awesome. I love that, Sentina. All right, so can you tell us, how has your previous experience in diverse businesses contributed to the success of XAIA the Brand?
Okay. First and foremost, it has taught me perseverance, and I have learned to be dogged and confident in what I do, because truly life rewards the bold and courageous. I have done so many stuff, and what stands out for me most is perseverance. It doesn't matter matter what I'm selling, so long as I believe that I am giving value and I know whatever it is I'm offering is valuable and it's excellent. That's what I've learned in business. So my first business, that's selling potato chips. It taught me discipline. It taught me patience, because you have to be patient. And then I also learned that hard work pays, because it was not easy. I was producing in bulk and I was going to work. I would come back late at night. I have to fry that night so that I can sell the next day. I learned hard work. It was not easy. I learned on the job. And at the end of the day, what mattered most was, after all the countless sleepless nights and the stress making it, I would go to work, return pretty late, start crying. But getting sold out brought me a kind of satisfaction I can't explain. I felt rewarded for my hard work and it was worth it. So business has taught me a lot of things. I can't even finish talking about it today. One thing I just want to add is that business is not for everybody, but it absolutely was for me, and I am glad I discovered early. So it's not everybody that's like career fits the whole 9 to 5. It's fine, whatever it is you are doing, but if you notice that this is what works for you, just stick to it, and God is going to meet you, God is going to help you, and you excel in it. That's what's important.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Sentina. Okay, so now, after the potato chips, the beauty product, liquid soap, and all of that you have done in the past, I'm glad that you actually thrive in all. But then, why did you decide to focus on tote bags for XAIA the Brand?
Okay, XAIA the Brand is definitely not all about tote bags, but it's a good place to start. So I just launched my brand and I am taking it one step at a time, but it's definitely not all about tote bags. But then when I started pondering on the idea, I did my research. I came to the conclusion that the tote bag industry has not been truly explored. And after a lot of research, like I said, it was an established fact to me that has not been fully explored. I feel like there's so much more that we can do. There's so much more to be done. There's just a whole lot. I've learned so much about the industry, and I am convinced that I have a lot of value to give, actually, and I really look forward to doing. In fact, this is just the prologue, and there's so much more coming for XAIA the Brand.
Excellent. That means you're telling us that we may just wake up tomorrow and see caps, shoes, clothes. We are seeing a lot of tote bag is just the beginning. Am I right?
Absolutely.
All right. I wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
All right. So, Sentina, how do you manage to balance time between medical school and running a business?
First and foremost, I would be lying if I say that I have it all figured out, because it's definitely not easy. But I am very intentional about time management, because I really do not have time. So you have to be deliberate about what you do, and then you have to have priorities, because there are so many important things, but you can't do everything. You can't be everywhere at the same time. And then I've also learned to build systems that work for me, systems that can function without me. I understand that I cannot be everywhere at the same time. So I hire the services of men that can do certain things for me. I'm not trying to be jack of all trades and, as we say, master of none. I have limitations, so I'm not trying to be everywhere. I'm not trying to do everything. So time management, just manage your time. Time is of essence. Time is money. That's the truth. So I am very intentional. I wake up very early, so I try to post to utilize that time, so that when I'm in school, I'm not trying to listen in class. And I've also learned, very importantly, to not put myself under undue pressure to take urgent orders. All these, can I get it tomorrow? I'm so sorry, you can't. And there's nothing wrong if you're not able to deliver. It's fine. You can't please everybody, and it's very fine to say no, to turn down orders, and so that it will just ease that unnecessary pressure that you put on yourself, and it gives you time to breathe. It's very important. So
I get that. All right, so now, do you mind sharing some of your success stories with us?
Basically, starting this business is already a success story on its own. And at some point, I was really worried about how I'll keep running a demanding business like this. And then I have a time-consuming course on the other hand, and I have my exams approaching, and I have so many engagements. But I have learned so much. I usually say this often to anybody that cares to know. I am not so much of a multitasker. Like, I'm a one-way person. If I'm doing this, I'm doing this. If I'm doing that, that. So doing business, doing med school, doing other stuff all at once has taught me so much. I am learning on the job, and that alone is a success story. And then the fact that when I started, I didn't have the contacts, I just stepped out in faith, and really that people trust me. I've delivered bags to people in different states, far and near, and they don't know me from anywhere. They trust me. They send me their money and they trust me to deliver. It's a big success story for me. I really feel like I have not gone so far. I feel like this is just the beginning of my journey, but I cannot ignore the fact there's been great success.
Yeah, I love that. And the reason why I'm so intentional about asking people for their success story is that what success actually means to you is not what it means to me. For example, now look, you're telling me that starting XAIA the Brand is actually a success, and you delivering bags to people that have not seen you before and people even trusting you is a success story on its own. And that shows that success is not just about, okay, I got a car when I started this business, I've been able to buy an iPhone, I've been able to buy a house. It's actually a success, but what you see as success may not be what success also means to me. And that leads me to my next question. Where do you see XAIA the Brand in the next few years?
Just watch out for XAIA. I can't even quantify where I see us going, but the way things are going, all I can say is sit back and watch, because XAIA is going very far, and well, just sit back and watch actually.
Alright, so listeners, so Sentina is telling us that we should watch out. It's actually like a season film. We have to just watch out. We'll keep seeing things. I love that. Okay, so this is Campus Hustlers. Students are listening to this program. Other people are listening to this program. Business owners, students, a lot of people are listening. But then, for students like you who are listening to this program right now, there are students that, okay, they've been wanting to start business, but they feel like they can actually juggle between academic and entrepreneurship. What advice would you give to other students looking to start a business while still in school?
Okay, so I think if you're like me and you are passionate about doing business, I don't think there's anything that you can't do while you are in school. Like, that's in quotes though. But business is something that in campus, school, university provides the community. Like, it is favorable for so many businesses. So whatever it is that you want to do, I think starting now while in school is the best time. First and foremost, find your niche. You can't be everywhere. You cannot be in A and B and C and D. Find where you want to be. Then start small. Start small, but do not stay small. And always be ready to do big things. Dare to dream 100 times bigger than your mind can fathom. That you are starting a business worth 50,000 today, it doesn't mean that in the next 2 years you would still be there. Your mind should be in millions when you are earning in thousands, so that when the millions come, you already have plans for it. Then you should also try to be great at what you do. It is very important. So many people are doing things, but not so many are excellent at what they do. So if you want to stand out, you have to be excellent. And to do so, you have to learn. Learn as much as you can about that venture. Learn as much as you can. Learn and keep learning. Keep learning from those that have gone ahead. Learn from people that have made mistakes. Learn from people that got it right. Keep learning. Like I said, start small, but don't stay small.
Excellent. Start small, but don't stay small. And be excellent at what you do. And keep learning. Thank you so much for that, Sentina. This is actually a valuable advice. Alright, so now, quickly before we dive into the second segment of the podcast, some people are listening right now and they can't wait to even connect with you because you have been giving value. You are a person that is actually passionate about value. And since the beginning of this podcast, you have actually been dishing out value. So they can't wait to connect with you. So, where can listeners find you?
Okay, I am right here in Jos. So if you want to find me physically, you know where to find me. And my social media handle for IG is XAIA the Brand. On TikTok, it's XAIA the Brand. I am most active on IG, and then for Gmail, you can get me at xaiathebrand@gmail.com.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Sentina. Thank you so much for that. All right, so listeners, we're diving into the second segment of the podcast. Sentina and I are going to be discussing the topic dealing with failure and Setback. As entrepreneurs and students, failure and setbacks are almost inevitable, but how we respond to them can define the course of our journey. In this segment, we are diving deep into a topic that often goes unspoken but holds immense power: dealing with failure and setbacks. Joining me to unpack this is someone who has faced her fair share of challenges, yet continues to rise stronger each time. Together, we'll explore the lessons hidden within failure, the strategies to bounce back, and how setbacks can sometimes pave the way for our greatest success. Let's get into it. Alright, Sentina, can you share a specific moment in your entrepreneurial journey when you experienced failure or a major setback?
Okay, I'm sure most of us are Nigerians listening to this podcast. During the whole nation saga, I made a huge loss during that period. Seemed like everything was just set against our progress. It was just like a cascade of losses, disappointments, so many things were just going not as planned, and it was overwhelming. School was busy. It was just a lot of things happening at the same time. I had a lot of things on my plate and I did not even know how to start. But thank God, God gave me the wisdom. Amidst everything that was happening, I had this peace because I knew that it felt like at some point it was like I should just pack up. Fine, I've done enough. It's okay, you can just leave. But I couldn't pack up and go home. That was not an option for me. I had to sit through and I had to solve the issues. I had to sit through and make it work. I didn't let circumstances hold me down and see where we are now. I remember that at some point we were in so much debt, but as I speak, we cleared and God has given me the wisdom to sift through everything that happened. I was able to navigate my way and it was an amazing journey. Now that I look, I wasn't so happy while I was there, but I have learned so much from that experience. I've learned so much and I hope I'll be able to share along the line. It's been really great actually.
I'm so happy for you. I'm glad that you are now back on your feet. So now, can you tell us what strategies or habits help you recover and bounce back from those setbacks?
Okay. So for me, it was doggedness, persisting, being determined, not giving up, not taking no for an answer. And then I was sure when I started this brand, I knew that it was going to work. And when all those things were happening, deep down, I knew that I was not even close to the end of my journey. So I was not even thinking about giving up. I was not thinking about going back. That was not the time for me to stop. So I was determined to see it to the very end. I thank God, God helped me. I got out of that phase. And another thing that I have learned is integrity and strive for excellence. If you are excellent in what you do, if you are determined to give excellence, you would always get an excellent reward. Integrity is very important. Most times people ignore this in business. Integrity and honesty. When you're going through something, there are some times that everybody makes mistakes. If you're supposed to deliver a product to a customer today and then for some reason you are unable to deliver, just be honest. If there's anything wrong with the product, be honest. People appreciate honesty and you build trust that way. So I have learned to own up and take responsibilities. It's my business and it's my customer. But when anything goes wrong, I should take responsibility. And customers are king. You should treat them that way. And the same way when you want to buy something, you expect to get the best. You should always try to give the best.
All right, thank you so much for that. Always try to give the best. Okay, so now, is there a failure or setback you are grateful for and why?
Absolutely. I am really grateful. As I would use the story I already shared about the loss I made during the national grid. I learned so much that time and put together all the failures I've had, all the setbacks. I don't like to call them failures because I did not fail. It was just a barrier and I crossed over. And all those setbacks I had, they made me more resilient. I have learned and I believe that they are the building blocks that have contributed to who I have become today. There's so much I haven't seen and there's so much I haven't learned, but I have learned to be dogged enough to keep moving. And sometimes to know when to stop. Not stopping in the sense of giving up, but there are things that you are hoping for, and you just get to a point that you should learn to accept that, okay, I guess this is not the time for this. Learn to accept no. And as a business person, you should learn to not lean too much on people. It's very important. I don't want to go into details concerning that, but whenever something doesn't go the way, you should always have plan B. Like, you should always be innovative. If there's something going wrong, it's not going the way, your mind should just start working on what is the next thing I can do, how can I salvage this situation. And sometimes when you are too comfortable, you don't know how much you can stretch, you don't know how much you can take as a person onto situations where things are not going the way, and you find out that there's so much in you that you are able to do this, you are able to take bold steps. That's what setbacks does. It brings out the best in you.
True. Okay, so now you've actually been giving us advice. So now I just want you to be specific. What advice would you give to someone who feels stuck after a failure or setback?
I would say there is always a way out. It's very important that you remember this. As a business person, you should always have it at the back of your mind. Whatever it is you're doing, whenever you find yourself stuck, there is always a way out. Always have the mindset that this can work. There's always something to do. And really, there is always something to do. There's always a way out. And do not be afraid to start again. When you hit rock bottom, it's fine. Sometimes things get so bad, you hit rock bottom and you are tempted to walk away. But how about we go again? If it worked before, it will work again. You still have what it takes to make it work again. It's still you. You are the one that did it before, so you can still do it again. Don't give up too early. Keep holding on. Be determined and see it through to the very end.
Excellent. There is always a way out, and don't be afraid to start again. Awesome. All right. So now, on Campus Hustlers, we don't just talk about chasing dreams. We show our audiences how it is being done, and that leads me to my next question. So now, how can entrepreneurs prepare themselves to handle setback better?
I wish I had an exact formula for this, but I don't. But thus far, what has worked for me is learning from others' experiences, learning about finances, because in business and finances come hand in hand. You have to learn about finances, you have to learn about accounting, you have to learn about business, you have to learn about what it is you are doing. Study the lives of people that have gone before you, those that have excelled in what it is that you are doing, and those that are not getting it. There's something that the person is not getting right. You should be able to spot it so that you learn from that. You don't always have to learn from your mistakes. You can learn from other people's mistakes. And my mindset has totally been changed about what I perceive as failure and setback. For me personally, I don't do business on my own. God is with me all the way, and I've learned to lean on Him always. There are times that you will be shocked. You can never be fully prepared. There are setbacks that just come unawares but it's fine. Just be cool about it. Like I said, be innovative. At the moment, it's fine if you don't have a solution handy for a particular issue, but always be innovative. Always be trying to find that way out. So when anything pops, don't be frustrated. Just calm down and try to find a way out.
Excellent. All right, so it has been an amazing time with you. Thank you so much for coming on my podcast. But before you go, there is this one question I would love to ask you, and I will be very glad if you can give me an answer to that question. So are you ready?
I am ready, absolutely ready to take your last question.
All right. So, Sentina, if you could collaborate with any brand in your niche, actually, if you could collaborate with any brand, who will it be and why? You can think about it.
If I could collaborate with any brand, who will it be and why?
Yeah.
I really wish I had thought about this question, because it's something that has never occurred to me, that I would collaborate with any brand. I don't even see myself collaborating with any brand anytime soon. I want a brand that speaks for itself. I don't know if you understand. And I don't think I am there yet. Not to talk of thinking about collaborating with other established brands. But I can collaborate with a building brand. It doesn't really matter which brand it is, because I literally don't have any brand in mind. But I do know that if our goals are similar and our beliefs are objectives, our vision, our mission, we are headed the same direction. I mean, why not? I'm totally open to collaboration, but so long we have common goals and common objectives, we are headed the same direction.
Excellent. Sentina, it has really been an amazing time with you. Thank you so much for coming on my podcast. I really do appreciate for spending your time with us, enlightening and giving value to our listeners. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It is indeed a privilege. I am so glad, and I do not take it for granted at all. It could be anybody, it could have been anybody, but it's me, and I know that it's a privilege. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
You are welcome, Sentina. All right, hustlers, that's all we have for today. I hope this episode ignites your entrepreneurial fire. Oh my goodness, my book is filled up already. Sentina shared so much value on this podcast, and that is why I will always say that on Campus Hustlers, we don't just talk about chasing dreams, we show you exactly how it is done. All right, rate and review this podcast using the hashtag Campus Hustlers on all social media platforms. If you're yet to subscribe, hit the subscribe button now. Until next week, stay hungry, stay focused, and keep hustling. Bye-bye.
Campus Hustlers with Fatima Zakaria.